In this tutorial, I'm going to guide you through creating an impressive resume website step by step. To do this, we'll start by using two powerful tools: WordPress, a free content management system, and Elementor, a versatile and free page builder. Once your website is complete, I'll teach you how you can build resume websites for others, turning this knowledge into profits. So I've designed this tutorial video with the intention of making the process straightforward and enjoyable. So here's what we'll be covering. First, I'll take a look at how you can get your website name and web hosting account. You'll need these two things to get your website up on the internet. Next, I'll talk about setting things up. So we'll install WordPress and a starter template to your website. Starter templates provide us with the base design for development, and then we basically build and customize on top of that. I'll then start using Elementor to edit and build out all the areas of your website. Elementor is a user-friendly page builder that simplifies web design with its drag and drop features. Customizing your site with Elementor is easy. So I'll show you how to adjust global colors, change the headings and text on your website, how to add images and video, plus how to add your own pages. We'll even go through creating your own free logo and uploading your resume to the website. Finally, we'll just want to ensure that your website is mobile responsive. So we'll build the website with this in mind. So I'm excited to get started. Here are the steps that we'll be going through, and let's start with step number 1. Alright, so there's two things that you basically need before you can get a website up and on the internet. The first is what we call a domain name. Now, a domain name is basically the name of your website. So for example, craftmewp.com is the name of my site. And of course, there's other domains out there. So if you can think about facebook.com, instagram.com, cnn.com, these are all domain names. So that's the first thing that you'll want to think about, a domain name for your site. The second thing you'll want to think about is your web hosting account. Now, a web hosting account is basically a service that's provided by a company where they host your website files, that is all the text that's on your site, all the images that are on your site, and basically this information is stored, so when someone accesses your domain, then your website is displayed. So the process of getting a domain name and a web hosting account is pretty simple. I've included a link to my recommended host in the description box below, but of course you can also get there by going to craftmewp.com/best host. Now, of course, this will bring up SiteGround, and it will also give you the best rate that's currently available. Now, I love SiteGround for a number of different reasons, and one of those reasons is because of the speed. They have a bunch of different optimizations that they put on your website, which helps the website to load a lot faster. They're also well known for their high quality support, and you're pretty much able to get them if an issue occurs with your website. So I highly recommend them, and I recommend that you actually give them a try. You can always read up more about what SiteGround is about. You can find out more about the company, about the support that they offer, about clients, and also about the technology behind this hosting company. All right, so again, once you go to craftmewp.com/best host, you'll come here, and what you're going to do is you're going to go to hosting and then click on web hosting. Now you'll notice WordPress hosting here, but that's not actually needed for what we're going to be doing. So you're going to go to hosting and web hosting, and then you're going to click on start now. Alright, so here you'll see that there are a number of different plans, and each plan has different features. So for example, the startup plan comes with one website, 10 gigabits of web space, up to 10,000 unique visitors per month. There's unmetered traffic, free SSL, daily backup, and the list goes on. The Grow Big plan, which is their second plan and the best value according to SiteGround, offers unlimited websites. And then you have the Go Geek plan, which also offers unlimited websites but more web space. So you can always compare plans for the website that we'll be creating. And in fact, for your first website, I recommend the startup plan. You can always upgrade to the Grow Big plan if you want to build multiple websites, or if you have multiple clients. It's easy to upgrade once you're in the back office of SiteGround, and you can also always contact support and get them to assist you with upgrading your plan as well. So we're under the startup plan, and we're going to click on Get Plan. And so now we're here at the Add Domain section. So we've already chosen the plan, and now we're at the Add Domain section. So in this section, you're pretty much going to select a name for your website. And so you'll typically want to go for something that's either related to your business, or if you're building a portfolio website, you'll probably want to go with your name. It depends really, so you'll have to give it some thought. Some suggestions for picking a domain name: you'll definitely want to avoid domains that are hyphenated. You'll definitely want to avoid domains that have numbers in them, and of course you'll want to avoid domains that are trademarked. So of course you wouldn't want to register something that has Facebook in it, because that's a trademarked brand. So if you want, you can always go with your name, or you can choose something that relates to what your website will be about. So in this case, I'm going to go with, let's create a site.com. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, you can always choose different extensions. So you have the .com, the .org, the .net, which are the most popular options. But of course, .com is number one. Always, if you're trying to register a website, I recommend going for the .com first before any other domain. So I'm going to click on .com, and I'm going to click on Continue. Alright, so we're now at step 3 in the process, and this is where you go ahead and finish the completion of your account. So first of all, in step 2, you had actually selected a domain name. In this case, I selected my site name that I want to register, or my domain name that I want to register, and it's available. So I actually get this message which says congratulations. But if the name you selected isn't available, you'll probably see an error message, and in that case you would go back and just choose another name. Don't worry if it's not available, you can always choose another one. Just give it some time and you can select one that you love. Alright, so we're going to continue in the process, and we're going to fill out some account information. So it's going to ask for your email, so you'll probably put your email here. You're going to put a password, and they have a set of recommendations that they want you to meet. So if you can, just to keep your account secure, you'll want to use these recommendations here. And then you're going to actually fill in some client information. So you're going to go with your first name, last name, country, and the additional fields that are required here. And they pretty much use this again for your account, and I believe they also use it for billing. And under payment information here, you're actually going to put in your card number, card expiration, cardholder name, and CVV code. You'll also see this option here checked, and basically this is just saying the address that you entered above is the same address you'd like to use for your billing. But of course, if your billing address is different for your credit card, you'll just uncheck this and enter the billing address you'd like to use. Next, we have the extra services, and first up on the list is the domain registration. So because we'll be registering a new domain with this account, we'll actually leave this ticked, and in fact it's actually ticked by default. Next, we have domain privacy. Now this comes at $12 per year, and basically it hides your personal details such as your name, your email, and your phone number from the public domain database. Now I have domains with domain privacy and also domains without domain privacy, and I haven't noticed much of a difference. So this is totally optional, and it will save you $12 if you choose not to get it. Next, we have the site scanner. So this is an additional service provided by SiteGround, and basically it scans your website and checks if it was hacked or if it was injected with malicious code. So this is another optional service, and again, one that I don't necessarily think you may need right now. In fact, there are plugins which you will see in our tutorials that we install to ensure that our website stays safe and also backed up. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the process of registering your account. The next thing is just to confirm by ticking these checkboxes here. So this is just to confirm that you've read the terms of service and privacy policy, and if you'd like to receive information and service updates from SiteGround, then you can click this checkbox as well. Once you're happy and satisfied with everything, you go ahead and click pay now. And once you've paid, SiteGround will send you a confirmation email, and then you'll be able to log in to SiteGround. Alright, so if everything went through successfully, you will basically see this message which says that your account was successfully created. So now you can basically look out for an email from SiteGround which will give you an overview of your account, and also you'll be able to access the client area and get things set up. So I've popped over to my email account here, and you can see I've gotten a sales receipt so far from SiteGround. And so now I'm going to pop back over to SiteGround, and I'm going to click on proceed to client area. So it seems as if this is a little bit wonky, but no worries. All you have to do is go back to siteground.com, and you should be able to log in with the account credentials that you created. So I'm going to log into hello@craftmewp.com, and I'm going to click on next, and then I'm going to enter the password here. Alright, so now as this loads, you can pretty much see that we have SiteGround, and you actually get a welcome message here, and you have an option to start setting up your website. So this is the initial screen that you will see on SiteGround, and then you can basically proceed to setting things up. Alright, so under the setup site feature, you will see an option called add new website, and this is where you will go ahead and basically use the domain that you registered with your account. So I'm just going to click on continue here, and I'm going to click on skip and create an empty website. Of course, there's two options here as well. So start a new website allows you to install WordPress, and migrate website allows you to migrate a site from another host over to SiteGround. So they have two amazing options here, and you can learn more about these later on. But for now, I'm just going to click on skip and create empty site. And of course, they're trying to pitch the site scanner again, but we're going to ignore that for now and click on finish. Alright, so now we're well on the way. Our site is being created. As you can see, this update here, and so basically SiteGround is finishing with the setup process. Once everything is complete, you'll of course see this message which says you are all set, and we're ready to go ahead and install WordPress. So to install WordPress, you'll want to click on Site Tools, and this will basically load up another screen which immediately brings you to the option to install and manage WordPress. So we're going to click on install and manage WordPress, and then we're going to select on WordPress. This option here is available if you're planning to create a e-commerce website, but of course we'll cover that in another tutorial. For now, we're going to click on this option here. We're going to ensure that the domain that we registered is selected, and then we're gonna go ahead and set up some admin information. So this information is different from the one that you had set up when you were registering for an account with SiteGround. This information is related to your login access for the website. So of course I'm going to blur the screen here and enter my username and password for the site. But of course you would actually go ahead and set up your own username and password. All right, so you'll also see an option below where it says add-ons, and you have an option to install with WordPress Starter. Now this is an add-on provided by SiteGround, but it's one that we don't actually need. So we're going to go ahead and uncheck that box, and then we're going to click on install. All right, so we know let SiteGround do its thing, and it basically is going ahead and installing WordPress on our website. All right, so WordPress is basically installed. Congratulations, you're on your way to creating a portfolio website. So the next thing that we're actually going to do is we're going to log into the back office of WordPress. We're going to explore the settings a bit, and then we're going to start creating that amazing website that we talked about. Alright, so to log you into your newly installed WordPress website, you're just going to click on Admin Panel. And this will take you to the website and automatically log you in. So you can see we're in the back office of WordPress. If you're not seeing this Admin Panel option here, you can actually access the back office by going to your web address and put in /wp-admin. So you're basically going to get a screen like this, and you would just enter your email and your password, and then you'll have access to this same platform. So this is WordPress. This is the amazing content management system that we'll be using for this particular website. And so just to show you how it looks at the present moment, I'm going to access the website here, and you can pretty much see you have a basic blog structure going on right here. So you could actually use this very basic structure and create a blog of your own. As you can see, this is a default post, and in the back office there's an option to add additional blog posts. So we'll touch on this a little bit more later. The first thing I actually want to do here is to clean up this back office a bit. So I'm going to go to plugins and installed plugins, and you can see that we actually got 2 plugins which were installed by SiteGround. So typically I just want to deactivate everything that's put on the site so that I'm starting with a blank canvas. So I'm just going to click on the checkbox here, and then I'm going to click on deactivate and apply. And so this will deactivate all the plugins that are currently on the site. And now I'm going to do the same again, and this time I'm going to delete. Alright, I'm also going to go to the post section, and you can see this default post which is also shown on the front of the site. I'm just going to delete that as well. And finally, I'm actually going to go to the pages section, and there's something to delete here as well. So I'm going to click the checkbox, and I'm going to click on move to trash and apply. All right, so we've cleaned up things a bit. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set what we call the permalinks. So to do that, I'm going to go to settings and the permalinks. Now this kind of helps us to clean up the web address structure a bit, and it actually has the setting that I want to use, so that's post name. So if yours is set to something different, you may just want to switch it to post name. This kind of helps us to clean up the website structure a bit and the website address so that we have cleaner URLs showing in our browser. All right, so that's all good. I'm going to click on save changes. All right, so we're pretty much good to go. And so now it's time to actually start building the site. So we essentially want to change out this basic look here to a website that's more professional. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to plugins, add new, and I'm going to search for a plugin called Starter Templates. And just for your reference, plugins are basically add-on features or they're add-on functionalities that you can add on top of your website so that you enhance it a bit. For example, the default WordPress themes don't typically come with like a contact form, but if you want to put a contact form on your website, chances are there are contact form plugins out there that you can add. If you're looking to add a gallery to your website, there is a gallery plugin that you can use to enhance your website as well. So the plugin that we're going to be using now is called Starter Templates, and I'm just going to install it, and I'm going to activate it. Alright, so once you've installed and activated Starter Templates, you'll actually see this page here. And for the purpose of this tutorial, we're actually going to be using Elementor. So Elementor is a popular page builder plugin that I often use for a lot of my websites, and it has a lot of powerful functionality. So it's a drag and drop builder, and you can pretty much create amazing websites without having to write a single line of code. So you'll notice that with starter templates, there are a bunch of different options for you to choose from, depending on the type of website that you're creating. So for example, if you were looking to build a restaurant website, there's a restaurant template available. If you're in the gardening niche, you could find gardening templates with this plugin. And if you were a real estate agent and you wanted to get your real estate business on the map, there are real estate templates available. So you'll notice that there are a number of different categories here, and you can pretty much select a site under any of these categories and it will show you templates for that category. So let's just take a quick look here at some of the options that are available. So for example, we have an organic store here. We have a digital product store. So there's a bunch of e-commerce site options available. Here we have a book author. So let's say you were an author and you wanted to have your own website, or let's just say you had a colleague and you wanted to build a website for them. Then this would be the perfect starter template for you to build from. So let's just take a quick look at what this template looks like. And so we can see here quite a professional design. And the good thing about starter templates is that once you install this particular template, you'll be able to customize any of the information that's shown. So you can change out the titles, you can change all the text, you can change the image that's shown, you can even change the links. And for that reason, it is pretty simple to launch a website and even build a website for someone else. So we're going to go back here now and we're going to pick a template for our website. So now we're going to go under personal sites and we're going to click on portfolio and CV. And we're going to scroll down to this particular template here. Right, so this is how it looks, and this is basically going to serve as the starting point for our website. So we're going to click on this here. Of course, they give you some options to add like a logo. You can also customize things like the logo with, but for now, we're going to click on skip and continue. Here we can see that we also have the option to change out some colors. So based on our color scheme, we can pick a color that matches what our color scheme is. We can also change around the fonts, but for now we're going to skip this section here and we're just going to click on continue. And then this is going to ask you for a little bit of information about yourself. So here you're going to write in your name, email, and here you're going to select your expert level. and you're also going to select who you're building a website for. So in this case, I'm just building a website for myself, but if you're building a website for your client, then you could always select that option as well. Finally, you're going to see a number of different options. So the Start Templates plugin actually works with the Astra theme. So we're going to leave this clicked, and we're also going to leave the import widgets, import required plugins, and import content ticked. These options here just allow you to have the template set up exactly how it was displayed in the preview that we looked at earlier. This option, of course, is not necessary, so I'm just going to uncheck it. And then I'm going to click on Submit and build my website. All right, so the template is pretty much installed, and now we can click on View Your Website. And as promised, you have an amazing design, an amazing starting point based on the template that was selected. So right now we're actually going to go through the process of customizing things a bit. So we're going to change up some of the titles here. We may change some of the colors. We may also build a new logo and put it in here. And also we will change out the image that's shown here. So pretty exciting things ahead, and I'm so excited to get started. All right, so as mentioned, the website is built with a page builder called Elementor, and Elementor is powerful for many reasons. First of all, you're able to customize things around, like change the text, change the images, change the colors, and you can pretty much add additional functionality as a part of the Elementor plugin. So really amazing plugin, and you'll get to see more of it soon. The first thing I wanted to point out is that the option to edit a page can be seen at the top. So here on the home page, once we're logged into the website, of course, you will see this option called Edit with Elementor. And if you're browsing any of the pages that are built with this page builder, you'll actually see this option as well. If you're not seeing it, don't worry. You can always go to the dashboard. So I'm just going to pull up this dashboard here. And you can go to the pages section, all pages, and you'll see the option to edit with Elementor here. So for now, I'm just going to go back to the home page, and I'm going to click on Edit with Elementor. All right, so you'll notice that this is the interface here for Elementor, and you'll notice, first of all, when I hover over items, you'll see the option to edit. So there's a little pencil icon here, which when I click, it allows me to change things around. So for example, I could easily change this text here to something else. And I could easily change the text here. I can easily change the images. And pretty much any of the elements that you see on the web page itself can be changed. And that's why this platform is so powerful. You'll also notice here, if I go to the layout section, I can add containers, which I'll discuss later, and I can also add different things. So for example, if I wanted another heading, I could drag a heading here. Right. If I wanted to add an image, I could drag that in. If I wanted to add a video, I could add that in. There's also the option to add double P forms, icon. If you want to add some space, then you could add it in. So you can see it's literally a drag and drop, and I'm not actually writing any lines of code to accomplish any of this. So for the purpose of this example, I'm going to pretend that I'm building a website for a client, and you basically follow the same process if you're building a website for yourself or if you're building a website for someone else. To save time, I've actually gone ahead and put together some information, and you'll see that this information kind of relates to what's on the current website. So we have a title up top, we have a description here, a button, and we have some about me information. And so we're basically going to be changing out all this. And so this content here is kind of to save time, and so I can show you what the process would be like. So I'm first going to start with copying this information here, and let's pretend this is the title. Let's get rid of this. I'm going to delete and I'm going to edit, and then I'm just going to copy the text and paste it here. Of course, you could write in your own text as well. You'll also see the option to kind of customize that text. So if you want to center it, right align it, you can do all of that functionality as well. I'm also going to copy the text that's shown here, and I'm going to replace this dummy text. Alright, and next I'm going to change this up a bit. So you'll notice that there is a lot of space here, and so I kind of want to reduce this space. And so to do that, I'm clicking on the pencil icon, then I'm going to click on style, and then typography, and then I'm going to change the line height. So let's work with pixels for this design here, and let's give it some adequate spacing. So I think that's fine. Of course, you can see that you can change the font as well. So you can change the family, the font family. You can also change the weight, the style. You can underline the text if you want. So there's a bunch of functionality here. All right, let's go back. And next we have the name and title. So I'm just gonna copy this text here, and I'm going to go back to the drag and drop functionality, and I'm going to drag a heading. Right, and so I can put in the heading here, which is the name, and let's change this to a darker color. So for this one, I'm going to go to style, text color, and I'm going to kind of make that stand out a bit. Alright, so let's use that color for now. So of course we have the heading here and we have the title. Next we're going to want to change the image. So we're going to go back again and we're going to click on this to open the bar. And we're going to click on the pencil icon. Alright, next we're going to change this image. And of course I've added the image from earlier. So I'm just going to select that file from my computer. And I'm going to pop that in place. So I'm going to select it, and you can see that our image has changed. So as you saw, changing the image is pretty simple. You just click on the pencil icon and then click on choose image, and then you can upload an image from your computer. Alright, next as we scroll down, we're going to reduce some of this space in here. So you can notice that there's a lot of space between the text and the actual button. And to do that, I'm going to click on advanced, and I'm just going to remove the padding that's there. So I'm going to remove that there. And of course, I could always bring it up a little bit more by changing the margin. So I'm going to go with -20. And of course, you can see that that spacing is reduced. All right, so we're already looking pretty neat with this design here. I'm going to continue along the page, and then I'm going to start changing out the About Me section. So I've jumped back over to my document, and I'm going to start copying the information over. So we have a tagline here, and so I'm going to replace that tagline with this information that's shown here. And then next we have about 2 paragraphs of text. So you'll notice that if I copy this paragraph and I put it here, and then I copy this next paragraph and I put it here, you'll see that the layout just doesn't flow right. And so this is what you have to think about in web design as well. How can I adjust my website so that it more matches the content that I'm trying to fit in? So I think the best solution in this case would be to actually get rid of one of these columns, and that way the text would stretch across the page. So I'm actually going to click on this column here. You'll notice there are 2 columns, and I'm going to delete this one. So now you'll notice that the content actually stretches across the page, and it just looks a little bit better. So we have the first paragraph of text here, and I'm going to go back and copy the second paragraph of text. So let's copy this here. And I'm just going to paste this paragraph below the first. All right, and we have some dummy text here, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this. And yeah, that's looking pretty nice. I'm also going to remove some of the spacing, similar to what I did above. So I click on the pencil icon, advanced, and I'm just going to remove the top padding. All right, next, the image on the right. We want to change this out as well. So I'm going to click on edit image, and I'm going to click on choose image. And in this case, I'm going to use a free image. So when you installed the template, you should have also gotten this added extension, and this extension allows you to search for free images that you can use on your website. So an accountant is all about money and saving you money, so I'm going to search for a term that should relate to that. Let's search for the word financial, and let's see what pops up. All right, so there's a number of different images, and the one I'm going to use, let's go for this one here, and let's click on save and insert. Then we're going to click on select, and now you will see that our image is actually on the website. So this looks pretty decent. The only concern that I have, of course, is that this text is now too long, and so you have a lot of space at the top and the bottom. So in this example here, I'm actually going to remove this second paragraph just so that we have less space being taken up overall. So let's go ahead and delete this text that we had put in. And now when we look, you can see that the paragraph kind of matches the size of the image. And so it kind of flows a little bit better than the way it was before. All right, so as we continue down on the page, you'll see that there are several other sections here. And the process of changing out this text is the same. So you would change out the images, the text that's here, and the descriptions. And as you scroll down, you'll see we have a video here which we can substitute. For the work experience section, you'll also want to change this information here to kind of match what your skill set is. And so again, if I click around, then you can see that there's options for me to change all of this information here. So I'm just going to go ahead and make some of these updates, and now that you should be a little bit more comfortable editing your own page, you should be able to follow along in the tutorial. So let's go back over to the accountant section, the accountant document, and let's copy these services. So we're going to copy the first and replace the text. And we're going to copy the second. And we're going to replace that. And finally, we're going to copy the third. And we're going to replace that here. All right, so next we have some text that I'm going to copy over as well. And that's good for our services. Now you'll notice these icons here, and these icons are meant to serve as a link. So if you have pages on the website which goes into more detail about all of these services, then you could always create those pages and then provide a link to that page here. So let's say, for example, we had a tax planning and preparation page that went into more specifics about what's involved, the cost, and how to go about hiring the accountant for this service, you would basically copy the link of that page and put it in the text box here. For now, I'm just going to delete each of these. And we're going to continue editing the page. Now, as we scroll down a bit more, we'll see the video section. And so as I click on this button here, nothing happens. Now, the most ideal situation would be to have a video pop up as soon as I click on this link. However, we're actually using the free version of Elementor, and so we're kind of limited in terms of the features that we have available. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change out this idea a bit. So instead, I'm going to delete this button here, and I'm going to incorporate a video in the background, which I think would be a nice cool effect. So you'll notice that if we click on the edit section here, we actually have an image that's serving as a background. We're actually going to change this to a video. And the video section actually allows you to upload a YouTube video or a video from your media library. In this case, I'm actually going to search for a quick YouTube video. So I'll jump over to YouTube and I put in a search term ahead of time. And there's a video that I found that I think would look pretty cool. Let's see, and I think it's this one here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy the URL of that video, and I'll do that by opening the link and then copying the web address at the top. Once I've done that, I close the YouTube tab, and then I'm going to paste it in the section that says video link. So as you can see now, we have a video that's loaded in the background, and so this gives a nice effect as someone is moving on the web page. Now, of course, we can also change the title and description here, and so let's do that. So we'll change this to something kind of catchy. For example, we're the accounting experts, and now we're going to change the description. So let's change the description here. Okay, so we have a description which says, "We'd love to work with you. Click the button below to get in touch." And so I think this is a nice little message to add to the web page itself. Now I can also change the text size for this particular text. Of course, it's looking a little bit small. So if I click the pencil icon and I go to the style tab, you'll see that I have the option to change this text under the typography. And that's looking pretty neat. Now, of course, we've mentioned in our messaging that the person viewing the site should click the button below to get in touch. And so now we need to add a button. So if you click on the Elements tab on the left, you'll see that we have a number of different options, and one of them that's available in the free version of Elementor is the button option. So we're going to drag the button over to the side, and we're going to then customize it a bit. So first of all, it's a bit too far to the left, so we're going to center it, and we'll do that under the alignment tab, and then we're going to change the messaging. So we're going to change this message. It says, "Click here to send us a message." And then we're going to change the link. So this link should go to our contact page. And I know we haven't really gone through the contact page just yet, but we do have a demo page that's here. So I'm going to right click on the contact page, and I'm just going to click on copy link. Then I'm going to paste it in our link section here. So now we have a button that links to our contact page from the home page. Now, of course, there's other things that you can do to customize this button. For example, you could add an icon, or you could simply just change things around. There are a number of different settings here. that you can mess around with, especially under the style tab. So let's see if there's anything else that we can change around. We can increase the size of the text a bit. So we have a larger button, and if we go to advanced, we can also bring this up a bit. So we're going to do that by unchecking the margin tab, and we're going to then put a negative margin here. All right, so that's looking pretty good so far. Next, we're going to continue down on the page, and of course we're at the work experience section, and here, just like the sections above, you can click on the pencil icon to change out any of the text. So we can change the title and the description as well. You'll also notice that there are a set of skills below, and we can of course edit this. So if you click on the pencil icon here, we can change this to one of the skills, and we can change the experience. So let's see, this is 2008 to 2023. We can also change the description by clicking on the icon here, and there is a cool feature here where you can actually edit the skill level. So you'll notice that there is a percentage bar here, and if you move the percentage down or up, it actually adjusts. So if there are several skills that you want to add for this particular person, you can always edit each of them and put in that skill. Now there may also be a case where you want to add additional skill sets, and of course you can see we're kind of limited to just 5. It's easy to add additional skills just by clicking on the section. For example, let's say we wanted another row of 2 columns. We could just click on the section here and right click, then duplicate. So now we have the same exact columns here, just as we do above. And so we could go again and change out these titles as well. Right, similarly down below, we could also click on a section here, and you would actually get another row of 3. So that's easy to actually edit this section here. And next we're going to scroll down a bit more to the portfolio section. So changing the portfolio items is also simple. We would just click on the pencil icon, and here you would see the ability to add additional images or remove ones that aren't necessary. So if you click on the pencil icon on the left, you can see we have the option to add items to the gallery, or we can actually delete items. Once we're finished with the changes, we can click on Insert Gallery. Because I'm building a site for an accountant, I may not necessarily want to use a portfolio in this case, and so I'm actually going to click on the delete option. All right, next we have testimonials, and testimonials are important for any business to showcase their skills and their talent, because it allows persons that have used the services of that particular business to really commend that business and recommend them to others. So if you do have clients that have left reviews before that you want to have leave a review on your site, you could always collect those reviews and then put them in this testimonial section here. So if we hover over each of the section, we'll see the option to edit some stuff. So for example, we could edit the image. And let's say we have an image here that we want to use. We can change that image quite easily, and we could actually change the testimonial itself. And we can also change the name. Next on the list, we have a subscription section. So at the bottom of the website, you'll see this message which says stay in touch. And the purpose of this form is to actually collect emails. And you'll note that by the subscription button that's shown here. However, because we're building a resume website, we actually may want to change this out here. So first, let me go ahead and show you some things that we can change. So of course we can change the title and the description. So we're going to change this description here to get in touch, send me a message. So of course I'm changing this form up from being a subscription form to being a get in touch or a contact form. So if I actually click on the pencil icon here, you'll see that we're using a form called newsletter sign up, and this is from a plugin called WP Forms. So I'm about to show you that form builder shortly, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this from newsletter sign up to another form that was created, which is simple contact form. Great. So now when someone is viewing this website and they're on the home page, they can actually fill out the first name field, the email field, and a message. So I'm just going to click update here to ensure that all changes are saved. Then we're going to go to the back office of the website and we're going to click on WP Forms. So let's go ahead and find all forms. Next, we're going to edit the section which says simple contact form. All right, so WP Forms was actually installed whenever we had set up the template, and so it sits in the back office and you can change any of the settings that you wish. Here you can see that we have a number of different settings on the left hand side, such as the setup option here. And this basically allows you to change the type of form that you want displayed. Of course, we are currently using the simple contact form. In the field section, you can actually add additional fields. So at the moment we have name, email, comment or message, which is of course the same fields that you see on the form of our website. There's also an option to set emails. So for example, if you want to set your own email to receive responses from that form, you can actually do that by going to the notification section, and also you can check out the confirmations section as well. So for now, I'm just going to leave that there, but of course you can mess around with these settings. For example, you could always set the email address, the subject line that you wish, and that way you would receive email responses from that form. So now we have pretty much completed the home page and we can start focusing on the inner pages of the website. But before I go to the inner page of the website, there's one thing that I think it's important for me to mention, and that's the mobile responsiveness of the website. So it's important that we make sure that any website we build also displays correctly on mobile devices. So that includes tablets and mobile phones. So Elementor basically comes with an option to easily make changes so that it reflects perfectly on mobile. So on the left hand side in the element section here, if we move our mouse down to this bottom navigation bar, you'll actually see a section called responsive mode. So I'm going to click there and then you'll see that this bar pops up here. So there are 2 or 3 different device modes that we can switch between. Of course, we have desktop, which is the design that we did currently. And of course, you can see that I can now switch to tablet mode. And so displayed on the screen is how the website will look on a tablet. And as you can see, the design for the most part actually looks pretty fine on tablet. So the changes that we may need to make are pretty minor. Let's take a look on mobile. And here on mobile again, you can see that the current template actually displays pretty nicely. Of course, there are some minor edits that we may need to make, and I'm going to make those adjustments, but I'm loving what I'm seeing so far. So therefore, the only changes that we may need to make are very minor tweaks to ensure that this website displays perfectly on tablet and mobile. So to start, I'm going to pop back over to tablet mode and then I'm going to start making some edits. So the first thing that we'll notice is that this text is a little bit high, and so we need to adjust the line height. So we're going to click on the icon and we're on the style, typography, and we're just going to change the line height a bit. So we're going to reduce this probably to about 45 pixels. All right, and that looks great. Next, we're going to edit this text a bit. So you can notice that there's a difference between the text size. So we'll probably want to increase this one a bit. Let's look at the text size for this heading. We don't have one set, so we'll just increase this one a bit. So that it's a little bit larger than what it was, and that's looking great. Of course, you can also manipulate the text that's shown here so that it appears a little bit larger if it's too small for you. As you scroll down some more, you'll notice that we have two columns here, and this looks a little bit out of place. So at the moment, we actually have this column that takes up this entire width, but this column here is a little bit too small. It just looks out of place. So there's a number of things that we can do. We can actually have this column take up less space and have the image on the right, or we can just have this column here stretch more across the web page so that it doesn't look too small. So I'm going to try and change this column here to 100, and that way we have a much larger image taking up the width of the web page, and that looks great. Now we're going to continue scrolling, and again we have a smaller text here, so we're going to just kind of increase it a bit, and you'll probably want to use a set font size. So we're going to try and keep this 31 pixels consistent. So let's go ahead and set this font size here to 31 pixels, and that's looking awesome. The text here seems pretty nice. Of course, we could manipulate it a bit. So let's say, for example, we wanted to change the size of this. We could always change that in the settings or the typography settings. And of course, we can also align the text to the left if it looks better. And I think I actually like it centered, so I'm going to put that back. And next here, of course, our video section, we have the text, which I think looks great. We can actually reduce the size of this button a bit. So let's change the text size down a bit so it's not too large, and we're going to change the font size of this text as well so it's not too large, and that's great. Our video is of course also playing on tablet, so that's awesome to see. And then we're going to change the font size again. And that's great. Let's change the font size here. And the font size here. Next, we're going to pop over to the mobile version, and we're going to make some minor edits there as well. So let's go over to mobile, and we're going to scroll to the top. And the first thing you'll notice is that things also look a little bit out of place here. So I'm actually going to click on the pencil icon here, and I'm going to just change the alignment to center so that we have the text kind of looking similar to the main heading. Next, we're going to scroll down a bit more, and we're going to see if anything else looks out of place. And of course here we can make some additional edits. So for the heading, we're going to just change some of the font sizes around. So let's go ahead and manipulate this a bit. Finally, we're going to change the button. And that's looking great. As we scroll down further on the website, I'm just checking to ensure that everything looks perfectly fine. And if not, I can easily make adjustments here as well. And that's looking great. So with very minor tweaks, we've actually made a design on mobile and tablet that looks as good as desktop. So now that we're happy with all the changes on the homepage, we can go ahead and click update, which will make all these changes live on the website. Next, we're going to pop over to the dashboard and we're going to go to appearance and customize. And in this section, we're able to change around different settings for the website itself. So we can customize things like the colors of the site, we can change around the font size, and we can even change around the colors of the buttons. So I'm going to go to the global section here, and you can see that we can change around the typography, the colors, the container, the buttons, and we can even change around some accessibility options. So that's really cool. So first I'm going to go to the typography here and I'm going to click on the H1 font. So the H1 font of the website is the largest font that's shown. And of course you can see that if I move this here, the size actually changes. And of course I can also change that for the tablet mode and also the desktop as well. So on the tablet I can decrease it a bit, and on the mobile version I can also decrease it a bit. And these changes will be reflected across the website. So earlier in the tutorial, I was actually going through and manually changing the font size at the bottom of the site. But by changing these values here, you actually change the values right across the website. So that's really cool. Next, I'm actually going to go back and I'm going to experiment with the colors. So let's pop back over to the desktop version. And you can see the option to change around the colors. So if I had a particular color scheme in mind, I could easily click on this button here and then I could mess around with the colors. So let's say, for example, I had a preference for purple. I could easily select a purple color here, or let's say that I had a preference for more of a orange color, then I could easily select orange as well. So that's really a cool feature, and as you can see, it changes the color throughout the website. There's also some other settings here that you can mess around with, such as the links, the body text, the site background, and so this makes it super easy for you to make changes to the overall site without having to edit each individual page. So that's just a quick glance of the global settings here, and as you can see, it's quite powerful in terms of allowing you to customize your website. Next, I'm going to take a look at how you can change the logo at the top of the website. So you'll notice that here we have a header section, and so if I go back and I click on the header builder, you'll see that we have an option to customize a few things here. For example, we can change the button, we can change the menu, and we can change the site title and logo. So let's go ahead and change this logo here. And so I've clicked on the edit icon, and as you can see, we have the option to remove the logo that's currently shown. And of course, I'm going to show you how you can quickly and easily create a professional logo. So I'm going to open a new tab here, and I'm going to go to canva.com. And Canva is an amazing tool which helps you to create amazing graphics. It can help you to create videos. It can help you to create social media posts. It's absolutely powerful. For this example, I'm just going to try and create a simple name logo. And of course, I'm using the pro version of Canva, but there is a free version available as well. So let's see if we can find a nice design. I think this one works cool. So we're going to click on it and we're going to click customize this template. Now I'm just going to find the name of the logo that we like to use. In this case, Michelle Jenkins. And I'm going to go here. And then I'm going to start customizing things a bit. So let's double click here. and let's paste the name. All right, so that looks cool. Of course, I may just need to edit it a bit. So I'm going to remove this bottom text. Or reposition it a bit. And then I'm going to change this text to accountant. And let's see if there's an option for us to adjust this bar here. And that looks amazing. And we're going to go ahead and delete this option as well. So I'm using a free template from Canva, and I've basically, in a few seconds or a minute, I've actually created a professional looking logo. So next I'm going to click on the share button, and I'm going to download. I'm going to select transparent background, and I'm going to leave it at PNG. Then I'm going to click on download. All right, so we now have a logo that's on our computer. And so I'm going to pop back over to the customizer, and I'm going to click on change image and then on upload files. Next, I'm going to select the file that I just downloaded. So let's go ahead and find that image. And finally, I'm going to click on choose image. There you go. And so we have the logo in place. Of course, it looks a little bit small, so we're going to change the width of the logo a bit. I'm still not 100% loving this because, as you can see, increasing the width of the logo actually pushed things down a bit. So I'm going to see if we can go ahead and crop this logo. And to do that, I'm going to open the logo again. I'm going to click on the image, and I'm going to click on edit image. All right, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to crop this logo. The crop functionality seems blocked out. So let's try this again. Let's click on cancel editing and then edit image. And now we have the option to crop. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select around the logo, getting rid of all this extra space, and I'm going to click on apply crop. Right, next I'm going to click on save edits, and then finally update. So now we should have a logo that gets rid of all that extra space, which is what was pushing down the content on the page. Finally, I'm going to refresh the customizer so that we get the latest image that was edited. And then now I'm going to go back to the logo section by clicking on the edit button, and we should be able to change out the design. So let's find the site title and logo, and we're going to click on change logo. And now we're going to select the one that we had cropped. And there we go. So now we have a logo on the website that looks professional. Of course, if you're not able to adjust the logo in your design, it may mean that you have to edit the design a bit or customize the width and height of the logo. But we have an amazing website here, and the final step is to click on publish. Now that we have the logo in place, this is what the website looks like. So of course this was a basic logo, and you can feel free to put any logo that you'd like on your own website. Now we're going to pop back over to the customize section, and there is some additional settings that you may want to change. For example, the site title. The site title is what's displayed at the top of the browser window. So for example, right now the website has the title My WordPress, but we could easily change this to something else. So in this case, I am going to change this to Michelle Jenkins, professional accountant. And as I make these changes, you'll notice that it updates once I click on publish. So I'm going to click on publish, and then I'm going to refresh the website. And here we have that professional name changed. Now, the next thing I'd like to take a look at is how we can edit the additional pages, and then how you can add a page if you'd like to. So let's take a quick look at the About page. And here we can see some content here. And just like the home page, it's easy to edit the About page. So I'm going to go to Edit with Elementor. Let's open that in a new tab. And we're going to change up some of the information a bit. Of course, we're using a different image here, and the content that's on the right, we probably want to stretch it across the screen. So we're going to try and make those changes now. So let's change this image. If we click the pencil icon, then the image, we can easily change out the image that's shown. Of course, this is not the best look just because of the hard crop here. It would be better to have an image that has a background, but we're just doing this for demonstration. Next, we're going to delete this column. So we right click on the box and click delete. And so we have the image taking up 50% of the width and the content area taking up the other 50%. Next, as we scroll down on the page, you can also change all of this information similarly to how you did the home page. And also the testimonial section is easy to change as well. And we can swap out the contact form here just by clicking the edit button and changing the drop down to simple contact form, which is the form we went through earlier. And that should take care of the About page. Of course, we would also just check the mobile and the tablet versions as well, just to make sure that everything looks pretty decent. We would just adjust the heading. This is something that we can see probably needs a little bit of an adjustment. And similarly, this heading here needs a little bit of an adjustment. And that's good to go. Now you'll notice that on this page and also on the home page we had buttons. Now these buttons are great because we can actually link them to our resume. So let's say that the accountant has a resume that they'd like the potential employer to be able to download. Now if we click on this link here, we see that there's an option to add a link. And so what we would do is upload the resume to the media library. And then when that option is clicked, it would basically download the resume. So my recommendation is to get a resume done probably in Canva. Again, you can easily create one. Let's just take a quick look at how we can do that. So here we are on Canva, and I'm going to perform a search for resume or professional resume. And as you can see with Canva, we have so many different options that we can choose from. Some of the options are premium, but some are absolutely free. So I'm just going to use a free one for now. And I'm going to click on customize this template. And so you'd pretty much be able to customize all the details that are shown here. Let's make this a little bit bigger. So we can see the option to change around the headings. We can change around the phone number, the email, the address, and all this information. So if I just double click in the area, I can easily write some text. And I can pretty much make this template my own. Now you'll also see on the left hand side that there is so many different options that you can choose from, and this is one of the reasons why I absolutely love Canva and everything that it has to offer. Once I'm happy with the resume, then what I would do is click on share and also download. Then I'm going to change this from being PNG to PDF. So I'm going to use PDF standard, and I'm going to click on download. So in the case that you're building this website for someone else and not necessarily yourself, then they would send you the PDF file. that you would then upload to your website. So I've downloaded the file here, and so now I'm going to pop back over to the website, and I'm actually going to upload it as a file that can be downloaded. All right, so this is the button that we're going to link, and so let's go back to the back office, and I'm going to go to the dashboard. Then I'm going to click on media and add new media file. Then I'm going to select a file, and I'm just looking for this PDF file that I just downloaded. And here it is. So next I'm going to click on copy URL to clipboard. And then I'm going to pop back over to my page that I'm editing, and I'm going to click on the edit button and change the link. So let's go ahead and do that. So we've set the link for the PDF here, and finally I'm going to click on update. Now what happens when I refresh the website? Let's go to the about page. Here you can see our resume button, and once I click on download CV, it opens up the CV. So whatever design, whatever content you had actually created in Canva, once you provide that as a PDF, you can then upload it to your website, and once it's clicked, it will open your resume, and from there the person viewing your website can see what your resume looks like, and they can also download it by clicking on the download button. Alright, so we've covered a lot so far, but we're not finished just yet. So there are two more pages that we want to talk about. The portfolio page, we're actually going to get rid of that. If you remember, we had removed that from the home page. So we're going to take this out of the menu, and then we're going to edit the contact page. So to remove the portfolio page, we're going to go to the dashboard, and we're going to go to pages and all pages. And because we won't be using the portfolio page, we'll actually just go ahead and delete that page. All right, next we'll go to appearance and menus. And because the page has been deleted, we can actually now remove this page here. And then click on save menu. So as I go to the website now, you'll actually see that we only have 3 pages. Next, I'm going to go to the contact page, and we're going to make some edits here. So we're going to click on edit with Elementor, and next we're going to change things around. So let's go ahead and update this number, and so we do that by clicking on the pencil icon, and here you can see we have the ability to change the image that's shown. So instead of this icon here, we could choose another. So let's choose this icon instead. This is an address, so let's go ahead and change this to a more suitable icon. And finally, we have a contact email, so let's change this to a more suitable icon as well. And this is looking much better. Also, you can change the email that's shown, you can change the description that's shown, and if you go over on the right, you can see that you have the option to write a custom message and change all the details like the name and the contact form as well. So this shows again the flexibility that you have with this particular design. Finally, once you're finished and happy with everything, you're going to just click on update. And if we go back to the website, so let's actually click this option here, or rather this option, and click on preview changes. You can see the changes that we've made are live on the website. Now next, we're going to take a look at how you can add an additional page to the website. So of course, currently we just have the home page, the about page, and the contact page. Now we want to talk a little bit about how we can add an additional page. So let's say there was a services page that you wanted to add. So if you recall, on the home page, we have a bunch of different services. Perhaps we may want to link from one of these services to an additional page, which would give them more information. What we can do is go back to the back office and go to pages, add new page, and let's call this page our tax services. Or rather, let's look up the name of one of the service pages that we had. So we had a service called tax planning and preparation. Let's go ahead and create a page like that. And we're going to click on publish. All right, so we've published a page, which will be one of our service pages. And as you can see, it displays the title up here, but of course there's no content. So how do we go about adding content to this particular page? So it's quite easy. We're going to go back over here and we're going to click on edit with Elementor. All right, so on this page, we'll see that we have the builder and a completely empty canvas for us to work our magic. So to build out this page, you would basically use the elements on the left and drag them on the right. So let's say we wanted to add a container with 2 columns to this page, similar to how we have the About Me page with 1 column on the left and 1 column on the right. We can easily do that by clicking on the plus icon here and clicking the 2 column option. So now we have 2 columns and we can actually go back to the element section and then we can drag across headings, we can drag across images, and we can also drag across videos. So you pretty much have full control over the layout of your page. You can add as much columns as you'd like, and there's different layouts that you can also utilize. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at the template section. Now the template section is basically a library that provides a bunch of different blocks and pages that you can use on your website. This allows you to easily build out certain sections of your site without having to manually drag elements onto your page. Of course, because we're using the free version of Elementor, a lot of these features are actually restricted. The free version, however, is enough simply because you'll be able to drag and drop any element that you require onto your page and manipulate it in any way that you'd like. Next, we're going to make some final adjustments to the website. So we're first going to change out the button link up top. There's also some links further down on the page which we'll want to change out as well. And we'll also take a look at how we can change the social media icons which are on the left of the website. Finally, we'll also take a look at how we can change the footer of the website. So we'll change out this logo and we'll see if we can change the background color of the footer as well. So first we'll scroll back to the top, and to change this button here, we're going to go to the back office of the website, and I'm going to click on appearance and customize. And in this section, we're actually going to go ahead and change out the header. So we're going to go to the header builder and we're going to look for the button. Okay, here we are. So as you can see, we have the ability to change the text. So let's change this to get in touch. And then we're just going to get the link for our contact page and copy the link. Then we're going to paste it where it says link. And we're going to hit publish. And now we should have a button that's linked. So if I go to the home page and I click on the get in touch button, you can see it now takes us to the contact page. Now we're going to take a look at how we can edit these social media icons on the left. So to edit these icons, we're going to edit the home page again by going to edit with Elementor, and we're going to navigate to the left hand column, and as you can see we have an icon list on the left hand side. So I'm going to click on the pencil icon, and then you'll see all the social media icons here. So if you wanted to link to your LinkedIn profile, you could just update this link here. We also have Instagram, and we also have two other links here. So let's go ahead and delete these two, and let's add Facebook. To do that, I clicked on the add item button below, and we have this option now to add some text and add an icon. So I'm going to first remove the text here, and then I'm going to search for a Facebook icon. And there we go. So we have three icons on the left, and of course there is also a link section where you can put the web address of your actual profile page. So let's say you wanted to link your Facebook, you would put your Facebook web address here. If you wanted to link your LinkedIn profile, you would then put your LinkedIn profile here. Once you're finished with all changes, you can then go ahead and click on update. So let's go ahead now and look at what that looks like. And here you can see we have three icons on the left hand side. Next, we're going to move on to the Learn More button, and the principle is the same for this button. We just find that button and then we edit, and you'll see the option to edit the web address. So this would also be a next button that's perfect for the contact page, where persons could then click the button and get in touch with you. Scrolling down on the page, we'll see the send us message button, and of course this is also the same. The only form we won't need to change is the one at the bottom of the website, which was created using the WP Forms plugin, and so the configuration for the send message button here is located in the back office in the plugin settings of WP Forms. Alright, next we're going to take a look at how we can customize the footer of the website. So if you recall, we have this solid dark blue color here. We also have some social media icons. We have the logo, which we'll probably want to change. And we also have an email address here, which we may want to change as well. So if I scroll back up, I'm just going to go to the dashboard, and I'm going to go to appearance and customize. Next, I'll want to find the footer section, and here we have the footer builder. So I'm going to select that option, and then I'm just going to look around and see where we can make those changes. So on the left hand side, we see a bunch of different elements. For example, we have a copyright section, we have two widgets, and we have some social media icons. You can also see these are placed on the right, and it has a similar layout to what's shown at the bottom of the website. So to change the social media icons, we would click on the social section here, and here we would see the options to then go ahead and change out the links. So we have a label, we also have a URL, and we have an icon as well, and all this information can be changed. So for example, if we had a Facebook link, we would just put in the link here, and we could also change out the icon. And also, if there are social media accounts we don't want, we can actually go ahead and delete those. So I've deleted two, and I am then going to hit publish. So those changes should now reflect on the website. And if I click on this first widget here, we can see our logo. So I'm going to go ahead and upload a logo that I had created earlier. So let's go and replace image, then upload files, and I'm going to search for the logo on my computer, and I'm going to click on add to widget. So now we have a logo in this section. You'll notice that I've made this logo white, and that's because we have a dark blue background on the website. So I definitely don't want to use the one that's at the top. I'd rather use a white logo here. Next, I'm going to go to widget 2. And here I am going to change the email address. So let's say you wanted to add your own email address. You would just click on the box here and you have the ability to change it. Once again, once we've made all the changes, we're then going to go ahead and click publish. And finally, we also have the option to customize the copyright section of the website. So right now it has copyright 2023 and the title that we had set for the website earlier. So I'm fine with that. So I'll leave this as is. So that pretty much covers the process of creating an amazing resume website. Now you'll be able to use these skills and create your own. You can also choose a different template from the starter templates that were shown earlier and create something amazing. Now that you've learned how to create a stunning resume website, it's time to turn that skill into a profitable venture. So I'm going to show you how to make money by selling these services on one of the most popular freelancing platforms, Fiverr.com. Fiverr is an incredible marketplace where freelancers offer their services, known as gigs, to clients from all around the world. On Fiverr, you can find services like graphic and logo design, voice-over services, writing services, and more. So I did a search on Fiverr for resume website services, and here are a list of sellers all offering resume websites. They all start at different price points like $80 and $100, and there is an extensive list. So let's take a quick look at a resume gig offered by one seller, and as you can see, this gig starts at $80, and there is a standard package which goes for $120, and there is a professional package which goes for $150. Here's what we call the gig description, and here's what you basically get for the price. And as you scroll down, you can see that this seller actually has reviews. And these reviews definitely help him to generate more sales. So I'm going to show you how you can set up a similar gig on Fiverr and use the skills that you learned in this video to offer resume website services to customers. So to get started, you're going to head on over to Fiverr.com. I've put a link in the description box below. Once you're here, you're then going to click on join, and you can sign up with your email or your Google account. Now, once you click on either option, you'll then fill in the details that's required and hit continue. Next, you look for an option to create a gig, and once here, you'll then start filling in some details. First, we're going to take a look at the gig title. So in this section here, you'll want to ensure that you use your keyword in the title. So for example, here I will create a stunning resume website. Next, you're going to have your category. So I like to use the category that Fiverr suggests. In this case, it's going to belong to programming and tech and website development. Next, you'll see the option to fill in your service type, and so you're going to fill in these details, which will help buyers to find you more easily. In this case, I've selected WordPress, and I've selected the website type as business. You also have the option to fill in the website features and the plugins as well. Next, we're then going to look at the search tags. So with the search tags, they basically help you to sell more gigs. It also helps buyers to find you as well. So I like to reference the top sellers for this particular gig and look at the related tags. The related tags are basically the search tags that the particular seller is using. And so if you copy these tags, then you pretty much will have a good chance of being hired for this service. Next, we're going to click on Save and Continue. And in this section, you set up your packages. So you'll want to set up various packages, price points, and features. And again, you can use the top sellers for inspiration. So example, I have different titles here. I have different descriptions, different delivery dates, and I've also included different pages, revisions, etc. that they will get as a part of this gig. You can also set up additional services for an additional price. So for example, if the buyers want extra fast delivery, They can pay an additional cost, which will allow me to deliver the service in a faster time frame, but also earn an additional income as well. Next, we're going to click on Save and Continue. Next, you'll want to start working on your description. This is where you describe exactly what the buyer will get for the service. I like to start with a question, and then I go into what's included in my service and why they should choose me. Once that's done, you're then going to scroll down and start filling in some FAQs. So you want to answer the most commonly asked questions, and this will definitely help you to sell more. Next, we're going to click on Save and Continue. And here we'll start filling in the requirements. So this is exactly what you will require from the buyer in order to start working. In this case, I have requested their resume, and I've also included an area which requests any special requirements they may have. Then I'm going to click on Save and Continue. Finally, you'll want to include a nice image for your service, and this image will be featured on your gig. Once that's done, you're then going to click on Save and Continue, and then Publish Gig. And that's it. You should now have a gig up and running on Fiverr, ready to make some sales. Thank you for joining me in this tutorial. I hope you found it informative and valuable. Don't forget to watch the other video on this channel so that you can learn how to build more amazing websites. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more amazing tutorials. You may also turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss a video from me.